That depends. If you did get suspended due to a DUI charge, either because you didn't request a hearing within 10 days of the arrest, or if you got convicted in court or lost your DMV hearing and your license has now gone into suspension, you should be able to get a restricted license. The times that you cannot would be if it's a refusal case where the DMV found that you refused to take a chemical test after being arrested for a DUI and admonished as to the consequences if you did not take a test and you decided not to take a test and DMV found a refusal, then you lose your privilege to drive in California for a minimum of 1 year, and there is no restriction at all. No work restriction, no IID, ignition interlock license. However, most cases are not refusal cases. And so if you have been convicted of a DUI or lost your DMV hearing or never requested a DMV hearing and your license went into suspension, you can get an ignition interlock license or a work restricted license by doing the following. You need to be enrolled in a DUI school. Typically, it's at least a 3-month DUI school, which is a 30-hour school. It costs about $700. Then you also have to have SR22 insurance, which is high-risk insurance, and you can get that through different companies. There's a company that has really good customer service. They're called Breathe Easy Insurance Solutions. A lot of people like that company. There are other companies out there that other people like as well, but customer service is really important for this. There's also a requirement that you need to pay a reissue fee. Now, if you're going to get a work-restricted license, that's what you need to do after waiting 30 days of suspension. However, if you want to get an ignition interlock license, you can do those things, and as soon as that interlock is on your car and you have the original paperwork from the installer to bring to DMV, and they have the SR22 and proof of enrollment in the DUI school on file, you go in, show them the paperwork from the ignition interlock installation, you pay the reissue fee, you walk out of there with an ignition interlock license, also called an IID license, which allows you to drive anywhere, everywhere, any time of day or night. There's no restrictions at all except for the vehicle you're driving has to have an ignition interlock on it. There's a lot of problems with ignition interlocks because certain cars, especially certain electric cars or certain types of Teslas, it's difficult to put them on. We've worked with a lot of people with a lot of issues with these things. And so what I recommend is talking to us for a free consultation about what we found so you don't have to reinvent the wheel and trying to find someone that can help you get that properly installed. Or you can call directly an ignition interlock installer, the one that we think in California, in the San Francisco Bay Area and Marin County has been the most reliable because they're local, they're not out of state, is a company called Lifesaver. This is their information. David Nico is the president of the company, and Lifesaver is one that our clients have had a lot of success with lately, because if something goes wrong, and don't get me wrong, I mean, ignition interlocks are a pain. They're not fun. For some people, elderly or people that don't have much lung capacity, they can be hard to use. And this is a company that will do everything they can locally to help ease the burden that you're having with an interlock on your car. It's really important to get someone who is local, and they're the only ones who are local. These other companies are national companies, and they hire these different, service stations that have installers, but they don't have the customer service you need. You can, if there's an issue with it when you go into DMV to get the ignition interlock license, what happens is you may have to wait a week or more to get the proper paperwork if they messed up the paperwork. Doing it with this local company, you're going to have the paperwork either later that day or the next day. They're going to get it right to you because they're local, because they care about customer service. So that's something that a lot of people don't realize. They think these companies are a dime a dozen. They're not. And one of the things about finding the right DUI lawyer for you is finding someone who can help you at the beginning of the case and do the work, defending your case, keeping you updated, answering all your questions, going to court and dealing with DMV for you in most cases so you can continue your life the way you did before you got the DUI, and then helping you with insurance and interlocks and things like that, DUI school, after it's all over, making sure that you know what the choices are and that you make the right ones that are best for you.